Yes, everyone. Good afternoon, West Ham fans. It's match day and it's live. A bit later on. We do it later on with the match day watch along. Join us for that. But as we always do, a couple of hours before kickoff, we try and predict the starting 11. Good luck, Bunham. So, yes, we are trying to predict the starting 11 for the Brentford game. In terms of definite not playing, Edson Alvarez definitely not playing as he is suspended for obviously getting sent off for 2 yellow cards against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup this week. In terms of Nicholas Füllkrug as well, the chances are, and again, it's like I went back and listened to it like it was like the Mandela effect. I am 99% sure I heard Julian Lopetegui say he's not fit. He's not playing. He's out. The chances are, according to reports that we spoke about yesterday, that he will be available. Well, he may be available for selection within the matchday squad, but in terms of starting, probably more likely to be the Spurs game after the international break. It will be very much doubt he'll be involved with Germany after the Ipswich game, because obviously after the Ipswich game, it's 2 weeks to international break. Then we come back to our Spurs away and then Man United at home. It's 2 tough games. That's why it's critical we get something out today's game and also gets out of the Ipswich game as well, in my opinion. So the likelihood is he won't be available as well. I tell you what is the likelihood of not being available. These mugs. These mugs are flying. I didn't think they'd be selling so quickly. We have literally got 3 or 4 left from the first run. Limited edition West Ham Irons mugs. They're very nice. Look how happy I look. 10 quid plus £2.95 shipping in the UK. If you're friends of ours who are across the sea, let me know. Drop me a note and we'll obviously let you know how much the shipping is for international shipping. But yes, link in the description. There's a PayPal link to get them. There's literally a limited run, and I just didn't think, but they might not be available for consumption, or not for consumption, for purchase by the time kickoff happens today. So let's get into it, and let's start with our starting 11, shall we? I've done it. I'm going to try and do it this way. If I look at the camera, is that all right there? That'll do. Am I actually looking? If I'm looking at the camera, no, I don't like that. Let's go back there. I'll go back there and just do this because I know I'm looking centrally at you then. In goal, Areola. What a surprise. No controversy there. Areola back in between the sticks. Means Fabianski potentially might only play one more game this season unless there's an injury to Areola in terms of the FA Cup if we don't get past the third round. So there we go. That'd be Fabianski put his feet up for the rest of the summer. I mean, to be honest, it's a return to right back. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka, he was obviously not featured in the starting lineup or at all for the game against Liverpool with Vladimir Soufal coming in. Did a bad job, by the way, Vladimir, to be honest. Him and Cress didn't we get overrun much? I'm surprised. They clearly were targeting his side, but yeah, fair play to him. He did all right. But Wan's back in, no problem at all. Alongside him, I think Jean-Claude showed enough in that game against Liverpool. I know we lost 5-1, but he played all right, I thought. And for his first full 90 minutes under his belt, I thought he looked, he's going to grow into the game. He's going to grow into the league, definitely. And I think, for me, he did more than that 90 minutes, and I think Mav's done. So for me, he starts, and this is the progression, to 3/4 of a brand new backline, which was the vision really. Obviously, alongside him, Mats Kilman, who has played every minute of every game. I think he's the only player to have played every minute of every game for West Ham so far season, which shows how important he is to the squad. Captain material, quite possibly in my eyes. And then Emerson. Nice. I like the back four. As long as the back four plays like a back four, as long as Wan-Bissaka's not brought in and played as a wing back, he's a better right back. He comes forward. Emmy comes forward on the left-hand side as well. With no Alvarez in the side, I think it's actually a blessing in disguise because it means we have to play a different way, or even not necessarily a different way, but have to play different people, different pieces of the puzzle in different places. So for me, I think Alvarez obviously isn't going to be there. So I think Rodriguez comes in and plays the position that he was brought in to play, which is basically Alvarez's understudy. He's at an age now where he can sit in front of those back two and just protect. That's all he needs to do. If he gets the ball, he can ping a pass, but that's all he needs to do is just sit there. That's all I want. That's all I want. Just to allow us to play more of an attacking sort of front five, basically. And with that, I don't think. I mean, again, I'm trying to sort of second guess. I think Lopetegui's going to have to go for it. I think he's going to have to get a result. Now, whether that result he wants to get, he wants to get at least a draw, and will then play a Souček in that next role, or do we start seeing a bit more? He tends to be at home. He tends to play a little bit more flamboyantly in terms of his lineup than away. But we're undefeated away. But I think Paqueta comes in and plays 10. I think Soler had a good game. Didn't have a spectacular game, but I thought he had an okay game and a first sort of debut for him, or starting debut. But I think Paqueta comes in and plays the 8 role. The reason why I think that is because I think whoever, and we'll get into who I think is going to play on the left hand side, but I think that person who plays on the left hand side has earned the right to start at that left hand side for what I've seen for the last sort of 90 minutes, and I don't know how long he played for the other game, 60 minutes on Chelsea game. So Bowen, yep. And for here, I'm not going to put him up front because I think it'll make sense. We'll go through it and then I'll go through my thought process. I think Kudus plays a 10 role. I think Somerville has earned the right to play. He's been given the opportunity to play on that left hand side, and to be honest, he's far more effective on that left hand side than I think Kudus is. Because the first thing Kudus does on the left hand side is cut inside, where I think Somerville can play to the byline, can cross balls in. He can cut. He's inverted, but it's not every time. Where Kudus almost every time cuts inside. And I think Kudus in the middle. You're pulling together the centre halves potentially, and the central midfielders. Sort of surrounding Kudus, which should mean there's space either wing for the likes of Bowen and Somerville. And the striker as well. No, Fulkrug, I believe, is not going to be available. I don't think Danny Ings is going to play. I think he's going to start Antonio rather than necessarily. He might go Bowen up top and put Kudus onto the right, Paqueta into the 10, Soler into the 8. He might do that. The only reason is I think Antonio, and it's not how I want to use Antonio. Antonio was used in the right way against Liverpool. He came on, had that 20, 25-minute cameo and was really good. Fresh, when their defense is sort of tired, fresh, a lot of good touches, a lot of good things. Troyes, I think Lopetegui will start with him, and we'll see the other side, the side I don't like of Antonio, which is the side which is basically just the Antonio we've seen for the last 18 months, unfortunately. Whereas the Antonio we saw for the Liverpool game, I thought was not the Antonio of old, but you've got 20 minutes, you can exert all your energy there on a side which is, a bit tired. And that's eventually how I'd like to see it. Fulkrug starts, batters the defence for 60 minutes. Antonio comes on and batters them again for another 30 minutes. They're both battering rams, and I think they would do a job. It's not super quick strikers. I mean, Antonio has got pace, but Fulkrug hasn't. But it's not necessarily about that. It's about allowing and creating space for the likes of Somerville, Kudus, Bowen. There's your pace to then break through the defence. And that side to me gets, on paper, is probably, I mean, obviously with Alvarez and Paqueta swapped out. So Alvarez and Rodriguez and maybe Fulkrug up front. That's probably the best starting 11. There's no starting Antonio. I know I'm not his greatest fan, but I think he needs to be that impact player. He can't do it for 60 minutes, 70 minutes, but he can do 30 minutes at full beast mode. And that's what I like. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? What do you think? I'll be fantastic. I'll be really interested to know what you get. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, and don't forget, get your mugs. Not talking about the one on the right, the one on the left. Much love. Go you Irons!